There was no way you could pick up after Halloween Kills with the level of the musical cymbals crashing and drums and violins and the sounds of the energy of the filmmaking of Judy Greer's death. You couldn't start a movie at that pitch. And I just thought what David did was a really brave, big swing.
Did you have expectations for looking into the future of like, that's what I'd like to see for Laurie? And how did that, if you did, how did that meet up to what came about for Halloween Ends?
It's a great question, and I feel your appreciation very much through technology. So, you know, if you ever saw H2O, H2O was my attempt, and I'm uncredited as really the producer of that, but it was my attempt to try to say, what happened to Laurie 20 years later? What happens to people who have that kind of an experience? And you and I both know that Laurie went back to school 2 days later, because that's what we did back in the 70s. We didn't, grief counseling and therapy didn't exist. So when David Gordon Green sent me through Jake Gyllenhaal the 2018 movie, and I recognized what they were actually doing was giving integrity to the truth about violence, what it does to not only the person, but the family, the familial trauma, the breaking of families, and what it does to a community. I thought that it had integrity. And for me, that's all I'm looking for in these movies. I treat it very seriously. I try not to, occasionally I have, but I've tried not to make a joke about Halloween. It's not funny. It's something I take very seriously, and I have great pride in it. Halloween Ends starts 4 years later, as you know. And there was no way you could pick up after Halloween Kills with the level of the musical cymbals crashing and drums and violins and the sounds of the energy of the filmmaking of Judy Greer's death. You couldn't start a movie at that pitch. And I just thought what David did was a really brave, big swing, artistically, creatively, and he's talking about something that is pervasive everywhere, which is the infection of a community and the amount of victim shaming and bullying that goes on. And I just thought it was a very brave, bold swing to close out this storytelling, and I felt it gave Laurie Strode a lot of integrity, and that was what was impressive to me.
And it's also a very, like you said, they brought it down. This is a very grounded film in the way it approaches the violence and how you guys deal with it.
It's actually very much more like the original movie in its musical tone, if you will. It has this sort of opening bit of music which is very intense, and then it sort of settles into, there's the interlude musically, there's the chance to kind of meet people and learn about them and figure it out, and then bring in the dangerous elements. It's a beautiful construction, and David, I give all the credit to David. It's a brave movie for him to make, and I'm so happy that this was how he wanted to finish it out.
I was certain that I saw him watching me.
You pretend like you moved on, but you're actually just obsessed with death.
What are you gonna do when Michael comes back for you? Because he is coming.
I really do appreciate your I can feel your natural affinity for it, and I'm grateful to you for all the years of support, and I hope that Universal sends you better Wi-Fi.
I think so. Yeah, right. Thank you so much.
Something feels different. He's more dangerous.
David, you are taking on some seriously new ground with this film. And you know, there's a lot of fans that are going to be surprised and freaked out by this. What was it? Ground? And I'm a fan, dude. I'm a fan. Why go there, and why take it the direction you did without getting spoilers? What was the biggest inspiration for that?
Well, the inspiration is trying to explore two things: is the manifestation of evil and then the response of a community. And so if Halloween Kills launched this community into a downward spiral, how do we explore that trickle-down effect on the individual? And so my thinking was, let's integrate a new character that's affected by not only his own personal trauma, but the town, the community, Haddonfield, that is still spinning after the events of 2018, the massacre of Michael Myers, and how we can follow the manifestation of evil through a new face, a new voice, to give us perspective on the evolution of a Laurie Strode and a Michael Myers.
You know what? That's interesting you say that, because I kept thinking while I was watching it, I was like, first of all, I didn't know where you're going with this film while I was watching it, which is
good.
That's a huge thing, and especially in a franchise film like this. But with that character and the relation with not only Jamie but Andy, what was it tricky to kind of find a balance to make it work within this world that you've already created?
I would say the trick was finding the actor to embody Corey Cunningham. So that was the trick, that the movie kind of revolved around the success or failure of that casting objective. And so when we met Rowan Campbell and saw the layers, the textures, the depth, the both insight, the vulnerability, but also the physicality and the confidence of that particular actor, all of a sudden it was a huge sigh of relief, because I felt now I had the tools to be able to balance all the love story, the horror elements, the thriller elements, the comedy to some degree. You know, there's moments I think that are there for levity. Sometimes those are even in heavy dramatic moments that just something is said and you're not sure if it's supposed to be funny or dramatic. And I love that vulnerability that the audience then gets to experience.
You came here to kill me, so do it.
I loved what you did with Jamie here. I loved how you guys built it. I feel like this is a Jamie that we've been kind of waiting to see in a way, at least for me. How did you approach getting to this point with her character and going forward, especially with her?
We wanted to see a new side of her. And so in taking the leap of 4 years from the tragic events of her daughter here, and knowing Jamie and knowing the inspirational literature she'll send me from time to time when she knows I'm feeling down, to the hand on the shoulder or the hug that I need, knowing her there as a healer, I thought, wouldn't that be interesting if we met someone that had processed that negativity through therapy, through her own writing of her memoir and her own exercise, met someone that was trying to heal and that was greeting the world with optimism. And so we hadn't seen that since maybe the naivete of her character in 1978. So I wanted to feel a character that was starting a new home, and in fact, setting up Halloween decorations for the most forbidden holiday for her. But now we see someone that we're suggesting that this is someone who, at least in her mind, is on the path towards healing, if not fully healed. So that then we can watch her intuition and the things that she's grown to know over the years through intuition and insight, as she starts to track the return of evil to her community and the unraveling of Haddonfield once again.
Well, dude, thank you for contributing for this. I've loved you before, and I'm happy you're a part of Halloween now.
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to hear.
Yeah, cheers, man.